Very good morning, children. Let us learn today some other interesting topics of cell, its structure and function. And you are going to learn the diagrams of plant cell and animal cell because they are very important for your exam also. You will be asked to draw the plant cell and label the parts, or animal cell and label the parts, or sometimes any one of them will be asked and you will be asked to write the difference between plant cell and animal cell, like that. So in till yesterday's class you learned about the different types of cell organelles. Okay, so in detail you learned about the different types of cell organelles which are present in the cell. Is it clear to you? So whether it is plant cell or animal cell. So what are the different types of cell organelles present? So that you learned. Is it clear to children? Then coming to the next point here, their functions also have studied. What kind of functions are going to be done by the cell or by the cell organelles? So you have learned. So let us recall the parts of cell once, or cell organelles I will write. So different cell organelles which you learned. Cell organelles. So what are the different cell organelles you learned? First one, cell membrane. Cell membrane. Then cell wall. Cell wall. Cytoplasm. Nucleus. Golgi apparatus, Golgi apparatus, then mitochondria, plastids I will write, plastids, lysosomes, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, endoplasmic reticulum, then vacuoles. So all these cell organelles in detail you learned. Cell membrane, cell wall, cytoplasm, nucleus, Golgi apparatus, then mitochondria, plastids. Under plastids you learnt about chloroplast, lysosomes, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, vacuoles. So these are all the cell organelles which are present. Then next content what you are learning, are cells flat? Are cells flat? So if you see in the book, so if I draw the diagram of onion peel cells which are observed, so they will be seen there like that. So we feel that they are said to be flat. But here, if we observe the size, what you learnt of all this, the size of this organism, organelles and shape of the cells, it is different. Is it not, children? They are some are longer, like what is that, nerve cell if you see, it is long, it looks like tree like with branches, dendrites and all if you are observing. So now you are observing different sizes, different shapes, then you are observing length also, width also. So that's why how we can able to know the dimensions of the cells. Means when we observe the cells with the help of electron microscope, we can see the three-dimensional pictures of the cell and its organelles. Is it clear to children? So that's why no cell in our body it is having same size or same structure. So they are in different sizes, different shapes we are going to observe. Is it clear to children? Then how we can see that three-dimensional picture means, once again I would like to tell you. So you know that cell and cell parts you are going to observe with the help of microscope. So in that microscope parts, if you recall, once lenses will be there. So we focus lens, we have to adjust it, low intensity, high intensity of light, so that can be used to observe the parts of the cell clearly. Cell organelles we can observe very much clearly. Okay children. Then coming to the next point here, cell is going to get its shape or structure is always depending upon the function whichever is going to be carried out by the cell. Is it clear to you? So here according to the functions, what functions they are going to do. So keeping that in the mind, the cells are organized, or they have the cell, they have the particular structure. Is it clear to children? So for example, RBC, if you see, RBC are round and cylindrical like. Suppose if you see the nerve cell, so it has to carry the nerve impulse, so it is very much long, so it is a what do we call, cyton or soma, or it is called axon. So they have to connect, and within less span of time we have to know what is happening in our surroundings. So in the form of impulses that has to be carried out to the brain. So they are long. Is it clear to children? Everybody followed what I said? So the shape of the cell or the structure of the cell is because of the function which is carried out by the cell. Is it clear to children? So that you have to remember in your mind. So now coming to the next point, what you are learning means different scientists, different types of works have been carried out and inventions have been made by them. So what are those? If we recall once, for the first time the cell was studied by Robert Hooke. Okay, so how we came to know? Because Anthony van Leeuwenhoek prepared a single lens microscope. Okay, so with the help of that single lens microscope, or later Robert Hooke also prepared microscope, and he observed cork cells and he gave the name that empty spaces as cell. So that is one important event in the area of biology. So then nucleus was studied by Robert Brown. Is it clear to children? Then Camillo-Golgi studied about Golgi apparatus. Then chloroplast was studied by Schwartz. Okay, so like that different scientists, they studied about the different cell organelles. Then existence of microorganisms was studied by Leeuwenhoek. So all these scientists, they have done a lot to the field of science, especially in the biology. Is it clear to children? Then so what you can understand with that means all living organisms. Okay, if we observe all the living organisms which are present in this world, maybe single celled or multicellular organisms. Okay, so all these are what you are going to understand with that all the living organisms are made up of cells. Living organisms are made up of cells. All living organisms are made up of cells. That point you have to remember. So here you know that if it is a unicellular organism, that is made of only single cell. Is it clear to you? That single cell is going to perform all the functions. If it is multicellular organism, different types of cells are there. So for example, human body, if you take, we have blood cells, bone cells, muscle cells, nerve cells, whatnot, other different varieties of cells are present in our body. So all the cells present in our body are doing different functions. So what you can understand here, multicellular organisms are also made up of cells only, but many in number. Whether it is unicellular or multicellular organisms, they are made up of cells only. Is it clear to children? Then the next two scientists, they observed some other points in the field of biology, and they framed a theory. Okay, cell theory. Is it clear to you? So cell theory, what it is going to make you to understand, starting from the invention of the different parts which we read. Okay, so if we keep all those points together, then it gives an idea about cell theory. Is it clear to you? So all living organisms are made up of cells, and here two scientists, who are those two scientists means Matthias Jakob Sheldon. Matthias Jakob Sheldon. So he was a botanist. So Matthias Jakob Sheldon was a botanist, and another scientist, Theodor Schwann. Theodor Schwann. He was a zoologist. So what do you understand with that botanist and zoologist means? The scientist who is going to study about the different plants and their life structure, everything. So they are called as botanists. So you learnt already in 8th class. Botany is a branch of biology where we learn about the plants, life of plants. That is called botany. So botanist means he study about plants, plant cell. So Matthias Jakob Sheldon, he studied about the plant cell. He has taken plant cell, he extracted plant cells, different plant cells of different plants, and he studied in detail. Then Theodor Schwann, he was a zoologist. He studied about animal cells. Okay. So what do they say? When these cells are observed, more or less same cell organelles they were found with some differences. What are the differences between plant cell and animal cell? Already you learned. So here in plant cell, so he studied about plant cell. He studied Theodor Schwann studied about animal cells. So some common parts were found and some differences are there. So in plant cells, what are the differences? Are exclusively cell parts present? Means cell wall you can take, then plastids you can take, then vacuoles are bigger in size. So all that was studied by Matthias Jakob Sheldon. Then animal cells, when they were observed, nucleus is there, then cell wall, plastids, they were absent and small size vacuoles were found. So like that here, these two scientists, they formed the theory. Is it clear to you? So what do we call those theory which was proposed by these two scientists? Means it is called as a cell theory. Cell theory. Is it clear to children? What is going to be, what the cell theory is going to explain, I will explain you later. So now Matthias Jakob Sheldon observed plant cells and he gave his observations. So plant cell is having cell wall, plastids, main parts like with other parts. Then Theodor Schwann, he observed animal cells and he also gave his observations. Okay. Like whatever the parts, some parts which are seen in plant cell are not seen here. Okay. Then these two scientists, generalized and they gave the theory which we call it as a cell theory. So later the Robert Hooke. So Robert Hooke, what he has done? Robert Hooke. So here what is noteworthy is that there was a gap of about 200 years between Robert Hooke first observing cells and the formulation of the cell theory. Have you followed? Robert Hooke studied about you know that cells. Okay, he named that empty spaces as cell. So the theory which was given by this method Sheldon and Schwann, if we see, there was a gap of 200 years. So he said, Robert Hooke, when he observed cork cells which are dead, so they were seen empty. So he gave, yes, living organism is made up of cell, like that he said. So later many scientists, they added some information to the field of biology, and finally these two scientists proposed cell theory. Okay, so how much time has taken for the scientists to do investigations, you can understand. Is it clear to children? Then next one, the theory which was given by these two scientists, Sheldon and Schwann, however cannot able to explain. Okay, they failed to explain, okay, how the process of cell division is going to happen. Have you followed what I said? No doubt that they proposed cell theory. Some common characters are there, or something is happening. What is there? Something happening? We will learn later. Okay, how the process is going to happen. They proposed cell theory, but they failed to explain about the process of cell division. So who studied about cell division? Rudolf van Virchow. Rudolf van Virchow studied about cell division. Cell division. Is it clear to you, children? So the process of cell division was given by Rudolf van Virchow. Is it clear to you? What do you mean by cell division? You learnt in 8th class that amoeba is going to reproduce asexually by the process called binary fission. Hydra is going to reproduce by the process called budding. Yeast cells again, they are going to reproduce by budding. And in human reproduction, you learned the male gametes are produced by the testes of males, and female gametes are produced by the ovaries of females. Okay, so the production of male and female gametes and fertilization is going to take place, that results in the formation of zygote, which we call it as sexual reproduction. Okay, asexual reproduction or sexual reproduction, whatever it may be, the cells are dividing. Division, cell division is going to happen. So another example I would like to give you. Suppose if you get any hurt or injury, so bleeding will be there in the particular place. Okay, so when you are playing, you got hurt here, so bleeding will be there. You got wound also. After few days, what is going to happen if we give first aid for that? Then if we take treatment, after few days, the wound is getting healed. Is it not, children? So which is helping there for healing of wound, means that is because of cell division. The cells present in that particular area are getting dividing. Division is happening of the cells. These two scientists, Sheldon and Schwann, they did not tell how the process of new cells are going to develop, but they said that new cells are formed. Like how the process of cell division was happening, it was given by Rudolf van Virchow. Is it clear to children? So he gave the process of cell division, how it is going to happen. So how the parent cell, like amoeba, how it is dividing into two daughter amoeba, two daughter cells, how they are going to form, or the cells which are getting healed up, how it is happening, the wound, how it is healing up. So that is happening because of the process called cell division. Is it clear to children? Then Now we are going to learn about the principle. So Rudolf van Virchow in 1883 he proposed the process of cell division. So process of cell division was studied by Rudolf van Virchow, whereas Schleiden and Schwann they failed to tell the process of for that cell division, how it is going to happen in 1855 children, sorry. Then so if we keep all the statements which are given by the different scientists, and we can get the cardinal principles of cell theory. Cardinal principles of cell theory. So who proposed cell theory? That is Schwann and Schleiden. So Schwann and Schleiden, they proposed cell theory. Is it clear to you? So what are the principles given in that? What are the cardinal principles of that? Means all living organisms are made up of cells and their products. So first point in that is said to be all living organisms are made up of cells and their products. So all living organisms are made up of cells and their products. Okay. Then second one is said to be new cells. New cells are produced from pre-existing cells. Is it clear to you? So all living organisms are made up of cells and their components of cell. Is it clear to you? We know that unicellular and multicellular organisms they are made up of cells only. Then new cells are produced from pre-existing cells. So what do you understand with that? Just now I explained healing of wound, or if we pluck out any branch of the plant, so we observe new leaves or new branches. How can it be possible? That is because of the process called cell division. Is it clear to you? So new cells are produced from pre-existing cells. Already whatever the cells which are present in the particular any organism, so from that only new cells are going to be developed. So these are the very important cardinal principles of cell theory. You will be given a question: who proposed cell theory and what are the cardinal principles of cell theory? So who proposed cell theory? Sheldon and Schwann. Okay, they are the two scientists who proposed cell theory. So what do they say? So they have summarized all the points, whatever the work carried out by the scientists is summarized by these two scientists. What did they tell? So all living organisms are made up of cells and their components of the cell or products of the cell. Then new cells are produced from the pre-existing cells, or new cells are arising or developing from pre-existing cells. Is it clear to children? So that is about the cell theory, which is proposed by Sheldon and Schwann. Is it clear to you? Then now let us learn the diagrams of animal cell and plant cell. You also draw this diagram, very important for your exam. So it is a membrane bound structure. So at the center you can see the nucleus. You can observe a large number of mitochondria. So this is the animal cell. So let us recall the parts of animal cell. So at the center you are observing nucleus. Then this is cell membrane. Mitochondria. This endoplasmic reticulum. This is Golgi body. And this cytoplasm. Is it clear to you? So these are all the different parts which you are observing in an animal cell. Okay. So now at the center you are observing nucleus. Then ribosomes are present on the endoplasmic reticulum. Then these structures are mitochondria, cell membrane, Golgi apparatus. So this is the animal cell diagram. So make a note of it and practice the diagram. Is it clear to you? Now let us learn the plant cell. plant cell diagram. So with the major difference you are going to observe. So three-dimensional picture you are going to observe here. So this is cell wall, and below that you are going to observe another membrane which we call it as a cell membrane. That structure is called as a cell membrane. Then coming to the next point, so here you are going to observe large size vacuole. We are going to observe, and here you can see the nucleus. So here the genetic material you can observe. So here what important cell organelles you are going to observe means that is said to be chloroplast. So chloroplast, there are they are seen there like that. So along with chloroplast we can observe mitochondria also. So this is a nucleus, then is mitochondria, and these structures are plastids. I'll write chloroplast. This cell wall, and this one cell membrane. This like structures which you are observing, they are plasmodesmata, and it is also chloroplast only. And this large size empty space which you are observing, it is a vacuole, and where all these cell organelles are present. And this structure, so this is membrane bound nucleus, and this one is a endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum, and you can observe this Golgi apparatus. So this is the diagram of a plant cell. Is it clear to children? So now we are observing the differences of plant cell and animal cell with two diagrams. Animal cell earlier I have drawn, plant cell now. So above the cell membrane you are observing cell wall. Is it clear to you? So large size vacuole you are observing, large number of chloroplasts are also you are observing. So with this cell, its structure and function, we have learned about the all cell organelles, their structure and function, and differences of plant cell and animal cell with the help of diagrams. Thank you.